Hello, I am Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com. And today I want to talk about this disconnect, when your life is great, but you wonder, why am I so lonely? And it's the reason I want to talk about this is because so many women I work with and so many women I speak to, this is the same thing. They on the outside, their life looks great. On paper, it looks good. They've got a good job, they've got a career, they have friends that they like, and before pre-COVID, they used to travel. Life looked really, really, really great. And often these are women who have come out of toxic relationships. They've rebuilt themselves again, and they are starting to feel strong and feel good about themselves. And they're doing really, really well. And even clients that I've worked with, and they're really feeling strong and they're feeling empowered, Down the line, when they start dating again, this is where I have really supported some women, because, for example, one of them, as we were working together, she started dipping her toe. She really felt strong. She felt amazing. And she started dipping her toe in the water again. And then very quickly, she became a bit of a hot mess. And she said to me, why do I feel this? Why do I feel like this sort of stomach churning? I'm seeing the signs appear. I'm starting to feel needy and clingy. I'm starting to be drawn to somebody who is pulling away from me, and I don't even think I like them. What is going on? And it was fantastic, because as this was happening, I was able to absolutely show her, explain to her, and make her understand it, so that she then navigated her way out of it very, very quickly. And she's now actually gone on to find the love of her life. So that's fantastic. But I wanted to talk about this in terms of most of the other women I see who I haven't worked with. So let me just see if this is you. You have, on paper, your life looks good. You've built yourself up after leaving a toxic relationship. And you're feeling really strong. You're feeling great. You're feeling like, this will never happen again. And you start dating, and very quickly you start feeling yourself slide back into that insecure, needy, clingy woman that you were in the toxic relationship and you really didn't like. And it's a woman that nobody would recognize at work, because they see you as the strong, organized, successful leader, but it's like within an instant, your self-esteem has shattered. Your self-esteem has been shattered again. Your sense of trust is eroded, and you're going back to those questions. Is he toxic or is he not? Or she, are they toxic or are they not? I'm not sure. Can I trust them? Can I not trust them? And you may have even been like one of my clients when she first came to me. She said, I was then ghosted. I became this woman I didn't like. I was needy, clingy, insecure. And then he just ghosted me. And that really, really hurt. And she said, how can I be this woman who's so strong on the outside, who's got her life together, who left a marriage, who sorted myself out, and one guy that comes along can just, bam, take me right back. And some have said to me, I can't sleep, I can't eat, the anxiety's coming back in, and I worry that my boss is starting to notice. What if I lose my job? And when you do leave a toxic relationship, because it takes us on average 7 times to leave these really, really toxic relationships. It's very hard. It's like a drug. You get pulled back, and the fear of the future and what's going to happen when you leave, that maybe no one will love you as much as they did, all those fears keep you going back over and over and over again. And so it's really hard. And I really honor anyone who has found the courage to finally leave for good. And so many of you come to me, you've picked up the pieces, you've rebuilt some of that self-esteem that they just chipped away at over the years and eventually just smashed to pieces. You've got back up on your feet. You know, like I did, I left a violent relationship and I was at rock bottom, but I took myself back to study. I got a degree. I picked my feet up. I picked up the pieces. I was able to find a job, get by my own little tiny home, and life was great, and that may be you at the moment. You feel your life is great, and so you rationalized that I just picked the wrong guys and I'm now done with that. I'm done. It's never going to happen again because I'm great. I'm in such a great place now, until this new guy came along, or girl. And bam, it was like the rug's pulled out from under you. And you think, how did this happen again? How is someone so strong like me rendered that weak in a second? And it leaves you feeling very vulnerable and scared, because you think, if it's that easy that I can repeat this cycle, it's quite scary, isn't it? And one of my clients said to me yesterday, it was just so embarrassing because my friends, I didn't want to tell them I'd done it again. And they'd all told me years ago, stop picking the wrong type, stop doing this. Sorry. And she said it was deeply embarrassing. So I then pulled away from friends. I didn't want to tell anybody that, yes, the strong one, the one who looked so successful, has done it again, repeated the pattern of a toxic relationship. And you look at them, you look at your friends, and you think, well, love doesn't hurt them. They're always happy. And why is it that I'm the only one that love is so painful, in relationships where love is there 1 minute, then denied the next, in this hot, cold, on, off type of relationship with unavailable, frankly, low value men or women. And I have seen women who are very successful. And if you looked at them from the outside, you would think, wow, they have got it all together, who say to me, I'm terrified I'm going to die alone. Nobody's going to love me. I've got so much baggage, and it really hurts. It really hurts. And they're embarrassed and they feel a lot of shame because they say, I lead all these teams at work and I've got that completely sorted. But when I go home at night, I open the door and nobody sees when I shut it, the tears and how lonely I feel. And this is the problem. Even though you may have left a toxic relationship and found the courage and spent years building yourself up again, until you've resolved how and why the subconscious programming, how and why you were vulnerable to ending up in a toxic relationship in the first place, you've got to get to the root cause. Because if you don't, you will just keep repeating this pattern no matter how strong you feel. That subconscious programming will just kick in and it will be a repeat, narcissist rinse, repeat. And the reason is because if one woman said to me, anything is better than feeling lonely. And I said to her, if you continue to date feeling that anything is better than feeling lonely, then all you're going to attract is the type of partner who will abandon you and absolutely make you feel even lonelier because they discard you, they treat you with disrespect, they're not there for you, they put their needs first. You know, if you are in a place of, even though, as I said, there's this disconnect between being really successful and strong, if on the inside you are this vulnerable, scared, lonely girl, then you're going to be hungry for validation. You're going to look for, you're going to see crumbs of attention as better than nothing. And you're going to accept less than you deserve. And the worst part about it is that narcissists or bullies or people who take advantage, they are absolutely masters of detecting exactly somebody like that. They love your strength. They love how together and successful you are. They love that. They go for that. But they also know that there's this disconnect, there's this vulnerability and weakness within. And they just target that because they see what you may not see yourself, that your boundaries are weak, that you're low in self-esteem. You might not even know you are. I didn't know I was. When I left an abusive relationship, I thought I was the strong, successful, educated one. And I had no idea that inside there was a little frightened, lonely girl who just wanted to be loved, seen, heard, valued, to belong. And so what I was doing was I was looking at somebody to fulfill that in me. But when you do that, when you date from a place of loneliness and needing somebody to validate you, you're handing your power away. You're saying to them, my entire self-worth depends on you. Can you imagine what a narcissist is going to do with that? You know, you now have to please me. And if you do, then I will give you some crumbs of love and validation. But no matter how hard you try to do that, they will demand more and more and more. And they'll give you less and less and less. And then you'll feel even lonelier, even though you're in a relationship with somebody. So, as I said, sorry, let me have a drink of water. As I said, if you are, it doesn't matter how strong you are on the outside. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how great your life looks. If you are not aligned on the inside, if you're if you're experiencing a less than desirable personal life, even though you're really successful in your career and you've got it all together in every other way, if you have that disconnect and there is that vulnerable, lonely girl who puts your happiness in the hands of everybody else, and of your moods, your behavior, you people please, you do all that, if that, if everything you do depends on how other people view you or how they'll treat you, then you're going to only ever attract somebody who takes advantage of you, who's going to hurt you, who's going to crush your self-esteem even more. And so you can tell I just talk off the top of my head, can't you? Because I'm trying to wrap this up really succinctly and cleverly. So really, if you are one of these women who on the outside you feel strong and tough and capable and independent and organized and successful, yet you feel inside hidden shame, guilt, fear, I'm not good enough, who's going to love me? What if I die alone? If you feel all that and you're not aligned with the best version of you, because imagine if you could align the inside of you with the outside, how powerful you can become. And if honestly, if you have if you really want to know what that is like, I will put a link in below to some of the women I've worked with who came to me really strong on the outside, but quite broken on the inside. And when you see the difference between when they just align with who they really are and become the best version of themselves, both on the inside and out, wow, how it liberates them in life and love, and how they just lead with success in relationships, in love, in career, modeling to their children what self-worth and healthy relationships and an empowered woman looks like. Nothing will hold you back. So if that sounds like you, and if you're tired of living this secret life where you come home from your successful job, you close the door and you feel really lonely, just do please watch my webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never Settle for Less Than You Deserve ever again. Because I promise you, life on the other side is more amazing and happy and fulfilled and empowered than you can ever imagine. You know, imagine if your relationships were as successful as your professional life, where you know, I'll describe mine. You know, I come from a relationship where a man almost murdered me. I'm now in a relationship where I am so supported and safe and nurtured and loved and respected, and we're an equal partnership. I don't ever have to ask him, oh, can you know, help pull your weight with the chores in the house. We're an equal partnership. He does some, I do some. It's just effortless is how I describe it. And you know, where years ago I was this person who appeared strong. All my friends thought I was the strong one, and they would lean on me, and I'd become like the agony aunt, you know, but none of them knew how scared I was, how I just felt alone in a crowd, how I didn't feel like I belonged, you know. And a lot of them are really shocked to hear my story now. They didn't even know that I ended up in this really abusive relationship. And they always thought, how you? How does someone like you end up like that? And it was because I was just not, there was this disconnect between the successful, strong woman and the really frightened little girl inside me. So until you get to the root cause of how and why this subconscious programming leads you to feel like that inside, that you've got this hole inside all the time, and that you're just longing to be loved, fulfilled, you crave to be seen, heard, respected, validated, and how the impact that has on who you attract, then you're only going to keep repeating this pattern. Because you attract, like attracts like. And this is what narcissists look for. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments below if that resonates with you. And if, you know, you are feeling this like you're living this secret lie. You go to work, you're one thing, and you come home and you're completely another thing. And do watch my webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never Settle for Less Than You Deserve again, if you are 100% ready to break that cycle and free yourself. Take those chains of the past and subconscious programming that are just holding you back without you realizing. Because imagine when you do that, feeling so aligned and centered and certain that no matter what anyone says or does, you have rock solid self-belief, and that you really start to move away from toxic people, any types, colleagues, friends, relationships, and only start to attract and gravitate towards really healthy, nurturing, loving, fulfilling relationships instead. And if that sounds like you, watch my webinar and then let's talk. You'll find out how to do that in that webinar. I'll put the link in the description below, and I look forward to seeing you in there. Bye for now.